about this election. I see a lot of posts, coming from Bernie supporters that say it didn't have to be this way, uh, and then it's usually accompanied with a pic of Bernie, suggesting that if Bernie had been the candidate, well, we might have won. Uh, and I also see posts stating that, well, if Hillary hadn't stolen the election or the primary from Bernie, well, in the first place, Hillary didn't steal the primary. She got more than 6 million more votes than Bernie got. And the DNC didn't really start coming down on the Bernie camp until they learned that the Bernie camp had hacked into their computers. So, that's mute. But there is plenty of blame to go around. I mean, uh, let's start with the Bernie supporters. They spread the right wing lies, about Hillary trying to bring her down. They did a lot of the right wing's work for them. I mean, they just kept spreading this stuff and spreading it and talking and everything. And so a lot of the blame goes to them. And some also goes to those who voted third party. I mean, Johnson got 5% of the vote. That could have been the deciding factor right there in this close election. So that's just the way it is. And also those that didn't vote because only 46% of the registered voters did vote. So, and that's pretty bad. We need to get that up and make it easier to vote. And then there's also some indication that Republican voter fraud did work. I saw an interview with a black girl, and she said that she had gone to vote and she had stood in line for several hours, but she had to get home to her kids, so she couldn't stay there. And then she said that she's going to try the next day, and if she couldn't get up there to vote, well, then she was just, probably wouldn't vote at all. So, their stuff worked a little bit. Uh, and the media, I blame the media too, because what the media did was they focused on Hillary's emails, and they didn't talk about Trump's fraud case or his rape case or how he treats his employees or none of that stuff. They just, completely ignored what should have been talked about. And and I don't know. Even I might have been to blame, because I backed off on my writing and didn't really try real hard to increase the followings on my blog, and I didn't write very much on the blue route like I should have, and it just worked out that way. But every time I saw Trump, I got more depressed, and it got to where my antidepressants weren't really helping me anymore. So I just had to back off on it. And then now, here's my feeling of what could happen. There's one or two things that could happen. Trump, or actually three things. Trump could be impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors as prescribed in the Constitution if he's found guilty in his fraud case, because that is a high crime. And and either that or there's some talk of Hillary, the electors, uh, not voting for Trump and instead voting for Hillary. There's even petitions out to try to get him to do that, but I think that's mostly a pipe dream. I don't think it's going to happen. It's never happened before. And but one of our biggest hope now is for the Democrats in the Senate to have enough guts to use a filibuster, because it was the after all it was the Republicans who set the bar that it takes 60 votes to get anything done in the Senate. So it's going to have to stay that way, and we're just going to be hogbound from now on. So at least for the next 4 years. But I think after 4 years of Republican rule, I really think that the public will be so tired of it because so many people will very possibly lose their insurance and their pensions and everything else that they'll get tired of it and Democrats will make a comeback in at least 4 years from now. That's all I got to say. Thanks for listening, and I'll do more of these. Bye.